A very good afternoon to you from the Wanderers Stadium, where we've just had the very first ball of this practice match between the Joburg Super Kings and Namibia, and that first ball just lent into by Reza Hendricks, the opening batter for the JSK, and he's played it with good timing out into the cover boundary. And to start off with, JSK 4 without loss. Left alone well outside the off stump. Duplessis opening the bowling for Namibia. It wasn't Reza Hendricks we see now. It was Alexander. We will get you his details in a moment. Fairly cloudy day here at Wanderers Stadium, certainly building towards thunderstorms a little later in this afternoon, but shouldn't arrive early enough to impact this match. The left arm Duplessis coming left arm over the wickets to the right-hander and defended back down the pitch. No run. Sorry, it is actually Reza Hendricks who is facing at the moment. And with Faf Duplessis. Good to see Faf back on South African soil. He's now very much a journeyman around the global T20 circuit, but with his trademark pink gloves. Shadow batting at the non-striker's end. Left arm over, angling across the right-hander. There's a pick-up and shy from the extra cover man who's run round, and but the batsman come through for the single. 5 without loss. The umpire at this end is Mazizi Gampu. He is one of the Central Gauteng Lions umpires on the Division 2 panel. A fairly new arrival up at that level. He's been umpiring there for about 2 to 3 years. And his colleague today, Katso Ntuli, standing at square leg. Left alone outside the off stump by Faf Duplessis, and through to the keeper, no run. This, of course, a practice match ahead of the SA20, which starts on the 10th of January. Very keenly anticipated second iteration of this competition. Duplessis comes in again, full outside the off stump, and actually given wide by Mazizi Gampu as he signals up to the scorer. That takes the score to 6 as one goes through to the sundries. But this is the first of 2 practice matches. The second will be on Sunday. Gives the Namibian guys a bit of a run out as well. So very, very welcome to them, I'm sure. But straighter this time and just defended out into the offside. It's collected by point. That is the end of that over. And so after the first over, 6 without loss. All of those runs bar the 1 wide to Reza Hendricks. And he's got 5 of 4 balls faced.
This is, of course, the iconic DP World Wanderers Stadium, the home of JSK, inviting Namibia, who themselves were on a journey to qualify for the ICC T20 World Cup. So it's a good run for these lads, as JSK also in their hearts look to get themselves a good run prior to the SA20.
Yeah, it's quite useful for them, I think, to be able to just get a bit of middle time. Particularly these guys who are professional T20 players now. Guys like Faf wouldn't have been playing over Christmas. You would have had a bit of a break. Right arm over of Kotze, and a good diving stop at cover, and a no run. I'm reasonably surprised to see the the international guys like Faf at this practice match. I'd vaguely thought that this would be very much the junior players in the squad, but good to see some of the marquee players having a bit of a run in as well.
Even for them, Simon, it's an important outing.
Scottser comes in again. He's right arm over. A bit of a... did he have a flash at that? I think he actually probably drew the blade back away from that ball. Well left, but well left really late by Reza Hendricks. That's through to the keeper and no run.
Some good stuff from Shikongo there. Running down from the corner drive end. Hitting that back of a length area. Giving a little bit of problems for Hendricks. Such an important length to hit, especially getting it right, considering the fact that the offside boundary to the right-hander is considerably shorter to the leg side, so Shikongo will have to be on the money.
He will indeed, and back of a leg, extracting a bit of bounce out of this Wanderers pitch, and the slip runs round and keeps it to the single, and they go through 2-1, so Reza now on 6. Faf still to get off the mark. He's only faced the 2 balls, and Shikongo definitely getting good bounce and a bit of pace this Friday afternoon.
And Shikongo here will have to be even more important where he puts his areas.
Ben Shikongo in from the call-it drive, and again back of a length. Defended, he actually collects it off his own bowling, and no run.
He's gonna have to be disciplined, have to be on the money here, Shikongo, just like he's been for his first 3 deliveries. Nothing outside and way too wide off the off stump, especially against both Faf du Plessis and Reza Hendricks, who are extraordinary stroke makers and can make seemingly everything out of a nothing delivery. So it's going to be important here for Shikongo.
We see Faf come down the pitch to him, trying to attack that back of a length, and I think Ben saw him coming and just dropped it a bit shorter, outside edge on the bounce down to third man. They come through for a single. Ben Shikongo is a fairly experienced member of this Namibian squad. He's played 30 T20 internationals, taken 24 wickets at an average of 20, and the economy rate under 7, which is very, very good going for T20s. He plays for the Etosha Wildcats. The last time I was at Etosha, I was about 9 years old. One of my very, very favourite holidays. So he comes in right arm over, straying a little bit leg side, and just played off the hip to a deep square leg, and they jog through for the single. That is the end of the second over. 3 runs off it, and 9 without loss after 2 overs.
Good stuff that from Ben Shikongo. He'll be pleased. He is bowling to 2 world-class white ball batters. Reza Hendricks had everyone singing his name during the World Cup. Faf du Plessis needs no mention. So to have both of them in a field that they both know so well, Reza Hendricks and Faf du Plessis, drawing that edge out of Faf du Plessis' bat, was looking to charge down. We love the intent seeing from both the batters. Here's Arnold. He'll have to be also cash money.
Yeah, du Plessis Arnaud as just wide and on the half volley, and just slapped at by Reza Hendricks and lofted away for 4 down to the area of what we used to call the cheap seats at Wanderers, below the scoreboard, and 4 runs to the total, 13 without loss.
Easy pickings. That is definitely not where you want to be. Looking to see if Reza will take on the big boundary. There's no boundary big enough for him.
The left arm over, Arnaud du Plessis just worked out into the onside. They come through for a single and go through to 15 without loss.
Even he, Arnold, we cannot express how small the boundary to the leg side is. Anything flashing down the legs, anything too straight, even the man standing at deep square leg is too near to the square.
Arnaud du Plessis, and again left arm over, and good full ball which is just defended. He hasn't actually played a game for Namibia, as from what I can see. So it's good for him to be able to have this experience. Certainly a very brisk left arm fast bowler. played for Southwestern Districts under 13s back in the day. Coming from the golf course end and angling it across Fuff, but quite narrow in on him. He's able to work it into the onside, and they go through for the single, 16 without loss.
Good areas. The lengths are so important. Hitting it at the back of the length, and we know the fame behind the extra bounce that you can extract here in the outfield, or in the Highveld rather, particularly here in the DP World Wanderers. And there seems to be some patches of grass on the pitch as well.
Yeah, not as much grass as there was down in Cape Town. This is lofted away. It's going to pitch like an iron, couple of bounces and run to the boundary for 4. And that takes Riza Hendricks on to 16 and the total to 19.
Good shots. That's what you see, especially in the power play. Everyone is close in the in-ring. You want the batters to go over the top. You want them to be that expansive. That's why they have that fly slip waiting for the mistake.
Yeah, so both third man and fine leg in the ring, and as a result of that, top edge is able to fly over the third man and down to the third man boundary. There was a man at a sort of deep backward point, but he wasn't able to get around. Runs away for 4. That takes the total to 23 without loss. 20 of those to Riza Hendricks, Faf du Plessis on 2 and just the 1 wide.
It's exactly what Arnold would have wanted, to get Riza Hendricks onto that front foot and going hard at it. It's going to be so difficult to do that when the length is just drawn back and it's not at that area where you can go full on to the front foot. So it was brave bowling from him.
Venture Congo to continue, slapped into the offside by Faf du Plessis. Well fielded and no run. Yeah, so Mpandulu, you were talking about how the boundary to the right-hand side of the screen, as we look at it, is very, very short. The reason for that is that this is a training match. They're not using one of the main central pitches, and so they are have a very narrow boundary out to Faf du Plessis' offside from the side, and a very, very long boundary to his leg side. Venture Congo over the wickets, and again played at the top of the bounce by du Plessis out to point, and no run.
You can even see right now from that angle with that shot being hit there how close the dugout is, how close the embankments are. So Venture Congo started the first over brilliantly against Riza Hendricks. Now he has a different, against Faf du Plessis rather. He was able to draw an edge. Du Plessis will look to target that short boundary like he's been trying to do ever so often.
Yeah, he's bowled very nicely, although this time du Plessis is able to just swing through the ball and loft it back over his head for a 6. Katso Ntuli signals up to the scorers, and that is 6 runs and takes the total to 29 without loss after 3.3. They're going along a little over 8 runs and over.
What a beauty of a shot from Faf du Plessis, just standing. It's a pull shot that goes flat batted straight over the head of the bowler. What do you even call that shot from Faf du Plessis? But whatever it is, it gives the maximum of that gorgeous bat stroke.
It was very, very well played, standing tall in his crease, and wasn't particularly pitched up by Venture Congo at all. But Faf really probably almost waiting slightly onto his back foot and able to play that straight back. There's a slight delay while they find the ball. It got lost underneath the black covers that are being used as a sight screen down at that main stand end. But they have found it, and so Shikongo now turning at the top of his mark, ready to come and see whether he can reply to that phenomenal batting by Faf du Plessis. Same shot again. He does it again. Is this one going to get the maximum? No, it's not. It pitches, couple of bounces, and runs away for 4, and suddenly 10 runs off 2, and Faf looks like he is getting his iron after his Christmas break.
These are not at all bad deliveries from Ben Shikongo. These are the balls you want to be delivering outside that off stump, just back of a length. But this is where the class and the experience of Faf du Plessis, he's faced so many bowlers, so different kinds on different surfaces. So he's kind of worked out his game to solve all these different questions that the bowlers will be asking him.
Once again, Faf goes for it. This time it was a little bit short, and du Plessis is able to just rock back onto the back foot and bludgeon it out to Kyle Corner for another 4.
You start questioning yourself now as a bowler. Where do I bowl it? You know that if you bowl too full to him, you are going to fly. He's been hit straight back over his head from 2 back of a length deliveries on lengths where you want him to bowl, on lines that you want him to bowl. So of course he's going to try something different, but this time it's right on the money for Faf du Plessis. This is beautiful batting.
Yeah, this is a bit of a masterclass that Ben is being exposed to here by du Plessis. Again, just drops it a little bit short. Oh, it was floated out to a man at mid-wicket who tried to get around and get his hands underneath it, was able to get his body behind it. It pitched just shy of the fielder there, and Shikongo very, very nearly won that battle. He'll feel slightly aggrieved. That is the end of the over, 37 without loss after 4. And Reza Hendricks is there on 20. Faf du Plessis on 16. The Joburg Super Kings going along at a little over 9 runs and over.
Phenomenal work this from Ben Shikongo, because he's been taken apart for 3 boundaries in that over. He nearly got it right on that same area, but it seems like he took pace off on that final delivery. Seems like some sort of off-cutter with the ball coming towards the right-hander. That's why Faf du Plessis just getting the inner big edge of the bat, and it was just being able to survive.
So we're just having a look to see who this is who's about to bowl from this end. It is Lungameni Tangeni. Tangeni Lungameni. Tangeni Lungameni, who is a right-arm seam bowler, and he's choosing to come right-arm around the wicket to the right-handed Reza Hendricks. Or is he going to turn out to be? No, he is a right-armer. No, he's a left-armer. And defended into the offside by Reza, no run.
Different change of angle here for JSK to deal with. Tangeni Lungameni coming off with a different proposition. The ball going across the right-hander. It's going to task both du Plessis and Reza Hendricks to target the bigger boundary. And I love the fact that they have that short extra cover just in case one pops up.
Again, just angling the ball into the right-hander from the left arm over and worked into the onside, no run. Certainly the Namibians showing a good energy here. I think very, very happy to be at one of the world's premier stadia and having a chance to bowl at 2 of the world's top T20 opening batsmen.
It's going to be a big task. Big learning experience, but a fun experience as well, because if you are able to get it to work, if you are able to draw mistakes, how big of a confidence booster?
Absolutely, as Lungameni is just worked off the hips by Reza Hendricks, and they jog through 4-1. One of the senior men of this Namibian setup, he's coming up for 32 years of age, which means he was born the year before I matriculated, which is sobering. Mpundula. He's got 22 ODIs in his back pocket, 37 wickets at an average under 20, which is very, very good going, 19.97.
Some proper numbers, those.
Running away from us at the golf course end, and again Faf just waiting for the ball in the crease and playing it straight back past the bowler, just knocking it for the single this time. Not quite the aggression that he showed to poor Ben Shikongo, but working it well through for the single. They go through to 39 without loss. This has been a good start by JSK.
Definitely a good start. Just under 9 runs to the overs where they're starting off, but the most important thing is that after facing 40 deliveries, they haven't lost a wicket.
Oh, there's a bit of an appeal. I thought that might have just brushed the edge, but Mazizi Gampu says not out. And to be honest, the Namibian players didn't look completely sold on that. You can just see that. I think Riza leaves it very, very late, which often creates unnecessary work for the umpires. But very good ball there, just back of a length by Lungameni, and putting some doubt into that JSK batter's mind. He runs away from the golf course end, and Hendricks comes down the pitch and just lofts that into the empty stands. It's a deep mid-wicket for 6 runs, the maximum that takes Hendricks up to 27 and the score to 45.
What a blast. That's a blast to the future. Darting down the track, smashing it over the cow corner. Clean hit, clean connection. Even if it went to the longer side of the boundary, that was going to fly away. And what a stylish manner to end over number 5. We just have one more over until we see the end of the power play as JSK climb to 45, still having not lost a wicket.
And the only member of the crowd down there to fetch the ball was young Amy Gear, who's one of the 17-year-old umpires for Central Gauteng Lions. Has stood with both Mazizi and Katsu, both of the umpires standing today. Both of these guys are trainers in the Central Gauteng Lions setup, so senior first-class umpires standing this game, and this is also used as training. There's one of the young up-and-coming umpires at the Gauteng Lions, Randy Nkomo, is the third umpire today. He's a cricket coach at St David's, which is just down the road from this stadium. Right, so we've got new bowler Erasmus, the right arm spinner, who's going to be coming right arm around the wicket into Faf du Plessis. Oh, the first ball is short, but quick enough to avoid being punished by Faf, and he just works it into the onside, 2 square leg and no run.
It's important that he keeps those lengths in check. It looks like he's a man who bowls the ball with quick pace. That's why Faf du Plessis, it was much easy to use the pace in his favor to get those 2 runs.
Was indeed. I think that first ball got him slightly by surprise. I think once Faf gets used to Gerard Erasmus, he would have punished that into the offside. Oh, Faf has a slash at this one outside the off stump. It goes on the bounce to backward point, and no damage. But if he had connected that slightly better, that could have seen the first wicket fall. Erasmus again, he bowls a very, very flat, fast ball, as is expected by T20 spinners, and they're able to scamper through for a single, just working it off the hips. 48 without loss.
The pace seems to be giving Faf a little bit of a question mark on what he has to do. So that in turn, at times, supports the length that Erasmus is using. So Riza Hendricks brings in a different flavor with his batting. No less aggressive, though.
Half-hearted appeal, probably pitching outside leg stump, and probably actually going down leg, I would think as well. But just enough to get the valuable dot ball. Again, hitting those stumps, those pads, but I think just pitching it outside leg, angling it in to the right-hander. He takes his cap and his glasses, and I think we'll feel quite happy with that first over, slowing down the scoring rates slightly, and rushing through that over as well, pushing the ball into the batter from around the wickets, and it's worked well. Just 3 runs off it.
Especially given the fact that the over is in the power plays, we see umpire show so it's come to an end. Just 48 runs from it. Say it's a good power play, going at 8 runs to the over, having not lost your wickets, and most importantly, having both your batters, Hendricks on 27, du Plessis on 20, shows that they are spreading the work quite evenly between the two. So it's quite dangerous and really good for the JSK, as now fielding restrictions have been lifted. 3 men protect the square or the square leg boundary. 1 is at the cow corner, 1 is at long on, as Freilink takes the ball.
Yeah, this is going to be Jan Freilink to a bowl from the golf course end. He's a left-arm seamer, middle-order batsman as well, and we'll see him come through again left-arm. We have plenty of left-armers in this Namibian bowling attack. Slapped by Faf du Plessis. The deep mid-off is going to come round. He collects it well, and they come through for 2. That brings the 50 up in the 7th over. 50 without loss. After 6.1, Hendricks is on 27, du Plessis on 22, and the rate achieved 8.1.
A vintage stroke from Faf du Plessis, what he's made his money off all around the world. Good fielding effort from Sean Foshier. And he reaches for that again, does Faf du Plessis, but he reaches for it expertly, cutting the 2 fielders in half, right at the deep, and the ball has to be collected through the covers. Really good looking shot, that is.
Jan Freilink, a Western Province boy. He was born down in Bellville in the Western Cape, and got his education at Boland Landbou, which is a school that I have umpired at once before. They've got their own dairy. They've got their own vineyards. It's quite an establishment. Lofted away, there is going to be a ban underneath it. Well taken by the fielder there. Faf never really got any of that, and I think it probably hit the toe of the bat. He's actually looking at his pink-handled bat in a rather disgruntled fashion, and that is the fall of the first wicket. Couldn't see who the catcher was.
Faf du Plessis was actually trying to reach at that. Ball never really got to him there, Simon. Seems as if the pace was taken away from Jan Freilink, and it was Benshi Congo, after getting a little bit of a peppering from both the batters. He finally has his share in winning the war for Namibia, taking the catch at long on, and that is a really good wicket for Freilink, especially given that it is his first over.
Yeah, I think Ben Chikongo will be happy-ish with that revenge that he was able to extract from Faf du Plessis after those 2 superb shots back over his head that Faf subjected him to. We think that this is going to be Roland Herman coming to the... No, it's going to be Deploy, who will venture out. And so JSK now 54 for 1 after 6.3.
Luis Deploy. Man, did he play some fantastic innings in the first edition of the SA20, making his name around. Get him in there. I remember that innings of 42, right at the death. And now he's here, the Englishman. Signed again for the JSK. Walking in at number 3 with a rather decent platform set by du Plessis and Hendricks. Hendricks is still out there, however, as we get confirmation that it is indeed Ronan Herman who's made his way into the crease.
Right, we will get you Roland's stats in a moment. He's one of South Africa's young up-and-coming batters, someone that there's been a lot of excited chat about at the club scene for the last couple of seasons. Just leaves that one alone in the off-stump channel, and no run.
I haven't seen that in a while in T20 yet.
Doesn't have to feel like he must take it on from where Hendricks and du Plessis left it off. See, du Plessis was already in his stride, trying to get at it. Ball never really reached him, and into the air it was taken by Ben Chikongo.
Left arm over again. Oh, he hits it straight back at the bowler. He gets enough on that he's able to get it past the outstretched left hand of Freilink, and they get through for a single. Takes the total to 55 for 1.
Seems like the lack of pace from Freilink is also causing some sorts of problems, counterintuitive as it may be, because you'd think that, the ball is coming slower, I have time to prepare myself and to smash it. But here, it's not reaching the bats as much as they want.
Riese Hendricks working it off his hips, and they come through for a single. He's looked very, very comfortable, has Hendricks today, and not quite as overtly aggressive as Duplessis was, but progressing along quite nicely to 28 now. That is the end of the 7th over. Some success finally for Namibia. Just 8 runs off it and the 1 wicket. I think Freiling will be quite happy with that return.
Freiling, he wins that. 8 runs is nothing compared to the price of a wicket, especially if that wicket is the captain of your opposition, especially if that captain was the second leading run scorer in the SA20 competition in the season past. So a superb victory for Freiling, as we yet again see a change of bowler with Nicol Lofty Eaton coming into the attack.
He'll be bowling to Riese Hendricks. Lofty Eaton, for a moment there I thought you were Lofty was his nickname, the way that you said it. He looks like the sort of chap who might have a nickname with his mane of hair and his sunglasses on. Bustly sort of leg spin bowler this, and they just work him into the onside, come through for a single.
It's dangerous times because leggies are so important when they come to the shortest format of the game. Ball spinning away to both the right-handers, so you can see the reinforced offside short extra covers there. The third man is short. He also is supported by a very fine 45.
Straying a little bit onto the leg side and just worked by Herman out to the man who's boundary riding on that leg side, and they jog through for a single. It takes the total to 58 for 1. Herman is on 2, Hendricks is on 29, and JSK going along at just a smidge under 8 runs and over. Lofty Eaton really trying to just tuck these batters up, and so they're working it onto the leg side, but all of those fielders are outside the ring on that leg side with the exception of the fine leg, so there's always a single out there, but I suspect that he's probably happy to give away six singles here.
Of course, that's going to be easier.
Fuller ball as I think that was Herman, hey? Came down and doesn't quite get to it. It got actually a little bit large on him, and he just quite sensibly worked it into mid-on for the single.
It's going to be much more easier for them to be able to get runs off the leg side, because as you can see, off the offside, they have to do so much work to just squeeze it onto the gap to get these singles. It was a good single nonetheless, but good work from Lofty Eaton, just keeping them to the leg side as much as possible.
Yeah, it was Riese Hendricks just trying to create something there, backing away and slapping it out into the offside. Pierced the ring, but collected. This is down the leg side, and it will be signalled wide by Katso Ntuli. Shows it up to the scorers, and Eaton will have to bowl the final ball of his over again.
This time just rushing him onto the pads. But like we said, easy single off to the leg side here for both Riese Hendricks and Ronan Herman. Closing over number 8. They're going just at under 8 runs to the over, but they still have a whole lineup of players that are going to come on their way to boost the score and get their chance to bat as well. It's 63 for 1.
So Lofty Eaton, a product of Paul Roos Gymnasium, which is just down the road from Boland Landbou, where I think we said it was Loose Deploy had been to. Was it Freiling? Freiling is the man who went to Boland Landbou. But they are one of the big rugby derbies down in that part of the world. Boland Landbou and Paul Gym.
Battle in the rugby. Here we're watching the battle of the cricket. JJ Smith comes with the ball. A whole bunch of left armers for Namibia. Much slower as well, just operating like Freiling, looking to come down the pitch. Herman to assert his dominance, but those lengths just a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it's been astonishing. We've had nothing but left arm seam from this end throughout this the start to this match. She bustles in again from the golf course end, back of a length, and driven off the back foot by Herman into the offside and no run. Herman, Junior, hasn't even had his 21st birthday yet. Just played a handful of List A and T20 domestic games. Had a bit of a run out for the SA Emerging as well in the last few weeks, where he scored 120 at one point. Defended and no run.
A lot of Hermans running around in the South African domestic scene. Ruben Herman, Jordan Herman, Ronan Herman. And they all seem to share one common thing in line, that is good batsmanship. Ronan Herman looking to assert himself in the DP World's lineup and looking to assert himself here in the Joburg Super Kings.
JJ Smith drops this one short, and it is just lofted away and lands in the stands with a thud. That is the short boundary, and Reza Hendricks is going to Ronan Herman is going to be able to hit that away all day, every day. And that takes him into double figures. He's on 10. The score 69 for 1 after 8.4 overs.
Talk about asserting yourself, that from Ronan Herman. That's where you do not want to be as JJ Smith.
Yeah, it wasn't a great ball. This one a bit better, just slightly fuller, and a little bit further over to the offside, and defended into the offside by Herman. Well recovered by Smith there. JJ Smith, one of the more experienced players in this Namibian lineup. He's played 41 first-class games, 43 T20 internationals. He's got a best of 6'10" in T20 internationals, 46 wickets in total, and an economy rate of under 7 again. Flashed away straight to point, easily taken there by I think that was Loftus Eaton. I'll have to wait and see his number, but an easy catch, and JSK lose their second wicket. That is the end of Ronan Herman.
Good work taking the wickets off Herman. Herman was looking to attack, but we are seeing a common trend here coming up the golf course end. It seems like the ball is not reaching the batters as much as they want, and they seem to be struggling with their timing. Ball just going a little bit bigger than what Herman wanted, not coming to the bat as much as he wanted. Timing was off, and an easy catch at backward point, regulation catch you might say. That's the second wicket gone now for JSK. They are on 69.
As we look at the replay there, just slashing at it, and it's rolling off the face of the bat, and that meant that he didn't get the power that he maybe needed, and fairly regulation catch at point.
And like you said, Lofty Eaton with the catch, looking really nice, and now he comes back with the ball. Has a nice feel on it, has already taken the catch. Now can he release it properly to try get yet another wicket? Lewis Deploy has come into the bat or to the crease, but he won't be on strike. Reza Hendricks, he's still chilling on the other side, and now he will be taking strike with the ball spinning away from him. There's a man standing at deep point and another one standing at long off.
You're looking at the flat trajectory that Lofty Eaton is bowling. There's a bit of an appeal here, but it would have been angling down leg side, I think. Katsantuli not interested at all. Signals leg buys, and they come through for a single. So I don't think he's getting a massive amount of movement, I would have thought. He's really bowling that classic T20 flat trajectory.
Now he's going to have a different proposition with the left-hander, Lewis Deploy. Not much turn, so what's the angles that he's going to execute here? Doesn't want anything straight, so he has to push it off to the offside. He still has the man standing at deep cover.
He's given wide by umpire Ntuli, and you can see no attempt really to move the ball there at all. It's not like he pushed it wide to try and spin it back into the left armour. He bowls the same ball again. This time he does get a bit of movement, but it's not enough to come inside that wide line. 2 wides in a row now, and he needs to just settle a bit into this new line to the left armour, the left-hander rather. Again wide, and this is just slog swept away well back to the grass embankment. And a 6 to start off Loose Deploy's account. The total goes to 78 for 2 inside the first 10 overs, and that rate achieved now 8.5.
That's exactly what Lofty Eaton was trying to avoid with bowling those balls wide. But that's the price of the extra.
So he's now decided he's going to come right arm around the wicket, still wide this time, and he looks back at the umpire with a certain degree of irritation, I think. But I don't think anyone would have begrudged Katso that wide.
It's irritation upon himself, it seems.
Wide again, but reverse swept. There is a man at that short third man and collected easily. No run. It's our man Tangeni Lungameni doing the fielding at short third man. Wide again, and if that had been left, it would have been called wide, but it is just eased away over the offside ring. Couple of bounces and away for 4 at backward point.
Why take 1 run when you can take 4 of them? That's what he decides to do, just opening up the wrist so beautifully to ensure that the ball goes over the top of the man at gully, expertly placed from Loose Deploy, and that forces Lofty Eaton to ask the man who's standing at deep cover to come more to backward point position at the deep.
He bails out of that, not happy with something about his run-up. But yeah, I mean, that's the sort of shot that I don't think you could have played with the bats that they had 30 years ago. You know, it really requires one of these big, thick bats just to ping it away. Hurries the left armour through to the keeper. No run. That was a good ball.
Even the olden bats would struggle with that particular delivery. Looking to go too hard at it, it seems, Loose Deploy, and matching fire with fire. Lofty Eaton with some fiery pace.
Slapped through the offside by Loose Deploy, and it will be collected by the sweeper, and they come through for 2. And Deploy has had a good start to his innings here. He's already on 12, and an expensive over for Lofty Eaton. He's now gone for 22 of his 2 overs. That was, 14, I think, off that over? So he's beginning to feel the pressure a bit.
That's 10 overs completed. 8.5 runs to the over. Good fielding out at the deep. So it's actually not the worst start for JSK, and not sure if Namibia will be too disgruntled with the way things are going, considering the fact that they've gotten those 2 wickets here.
Tangeni Lungameni to resume.
And you know, just working it into the open space, it's nice and easy work. No need for them to go smashing at big if the easy ones are there.
No, absolutely, and I think this has been a good start by JSK. They've batted with intent, and that means that they have lost a couple of wickets on the way, but they have got Reza Hendricks, who's acting as anchor there, and I think they are well placed now to attack, and I think would probably be looking at north of 180.
Even if you double the squad which they're going at right now, you are looking at 170. So not a bad prediction. Lungameni here, he has to be really on the money. He tries to be, dropping it short, but there's that man at the deep. So he'd accept singles here, it seems, instead of being smashed all over the boundary.
Certainly, it's one of a host of left-arm seamers that Namibia have brought with them to Johannesburg. And he's bowled pretty well so far. Just gone for 10 runs in the 8 balls that he's bowled this afternoon.
Of course, a whole host of right-handers, batters as well for JSK. But that does not matter because he just shifts his weight across to the off stump and peps that away into the stands. What a glorious stroke from Reza Hendricks.
superb. Reza Hendricks really showing his class there, showing the frustration that he's felt sitting on the couch watching his Proteas colleagues walk back and forth from the dressing room over the last couple of days, and perhaps showing them how it needs to be done.
Just a whip off the wrist, that taking the score so close to 100 now. They move to 93. Hendricks is playing with menace. And it's tossed full, overpitched, and it has worked wonderfully. Those wrists again showcasing their class. And they move to 97 with that wonderful stroke.
Yeah, full on the pads. I think Reza's going to be knocking that away for 4 all day, every day. Not a great ball from Lungameni.
He's happy that it wasn't smashed away for 6 there, Simon.
I think so. Yeah, I think even Reza was taken by surprise by the generosity of that gift.
He moves into his 40s. And he hits that with the top edge of the bat. There's a man standing under it, and that is the man who takes the catch, who's been bowling, and now he's showing his worth with the field. Nicol Lofty-Eaton completes the catch for Namibia, and that is the dismissal of Reza Hendricks.
Looked very safe on the boundary there. He did have to just glance down at his feet to make sure that they were inside the rope. They were indeed very safely so, and very safe pair of hands has Mr. Lofty-Eaton. Namibia will be very happy to see the back of Reza Hendricks. He's beginning to look dangerous.
Again, the batters struggling to get their timing on point from the golf course end. Another one caught in the deep. And another dismissal for JSK, looking to turn the money on. However, one man's try brings in another man to have his try as well. Donovan Ferreira, how dangerous is he?
Yeah, no, Donovan Ferreira, definitely a powerful middle order hitter in this JSK lineup. And so this is exactly the type of situation that he relishes. There's a decent score on the board. There's not a huge amount of pressure for him to have to play himself in and protect his wicket. He's able to now come in and I think really look to capitalize on these next 9 overs.
David Visa, he's next. Dayan Khalim, he's also next. And then you get into your bowlers, who can also swing at a few. But
Donovan Ferreira just defending back down the pitch. That is the end of that second over from Tangeni Lungameni. He's gone for 20 off his 2 overs, 1 for 20. That first scalp of his, Reza Hendricks, caught on the mid-wicket boundary by Lofty-Eaton, and second catch of the day by Lofty-Eaton. He went for 42. The score now 97 for 3 off 11 overs. 8.8 is the run rate achieved, and I certainly think JSK will be unhappy if they're not able to put on another 90 from here.
Especially with the firepower that is currently on show. But it's going to be important for both Ferreira and Deploy to play with their heads, not look to force any issues. And maybe the point of attack may come from this. Another change of bowler. You don't want the new man to settle. Picky Yafrans, he comes in. Starting with a really nice one, failing to cut it through. Ball just keeping lower than what Luis Deploy would have thought.
Yeah, Picky France has been in the Namibian setup for a very long time. He's 33 years of age. Has played just the 21 T20 internationals.
Very much reminiscent of Harbhajan Singh with the way that he bowls, and he'll want to extract as much of those skills as possible, beating the bat of Deploy.
Not a regular bowler at T20 level. Only bowled in 16, well, 2/3 of his T20s.
It is a warm-up game, and warming up is Luis Deploy, dispatching that into the embankment, dropped short from the bowler, and that is what you'd expect.
Yeah, easy 6 there on that short boundary away to the Wanderers Club side of the ground. Onto the grass embankment. Easy pickings, I think, for Luis Deploy.
just standing and delivering, whipping it. Not much feet, just hand-eye coordination and hand speed. And again, he's looking to go big. The top edge has been gotten, but the boundary is so short. It finds its way over the dugout at another boundary, yet another maximum.
Yeah, if that had been even 2 pitches to the left that they were playing on, that would have gone straight down the mid-wicket's throat. And mid-wicket, they definitely thought he was in the money there for a while, but the ball just drifting over his head.
Again, Van Lingen this time might be in it, and getting too greedy is loose deploy, and nearly spilling it was Van Lingen, but make no mistake, he laughs because he completed the job. That's the dismissals of loose deploy. Looking to go big again. He's gone for 25, and that's the 4th down for JSK.
Yeah, for a moment there, I thought he was. I thought he had fluffed that. There was just a bobble, but he was able to get it back as we watched the replay. You get to see it. No, manages to get it in, and he knows. He laughs at his mates as he drop kicks it back to the umpire.
Happiness, even the crowd at the back you saw, they were chuffed, finally getting the catch. And all of a sudden now, it's into the middle order as we've lost all the top 4 for the JSK. David Visa, did he not change his nationality into Namibian?
So for deploy, rather, has gone for 25, and the score now 109 for 4 in the 12th over. The run rate achieved now over 9, which is certainly where JSK will want it. I'm pretty sure, particularly with this short boundary, that they will consider 180 to be par today.
David Visa, he's the new man, has 1 ball to face. He could be playing for Namibia. He could be playing for the other side, as he is Namibian by nationality, to represent them in the world of cricket, but he currently is in the JSK, so he should know what to expect from Jafrans.
Of course, he will know these gents very, very well.
And he gets
the very, very first ball. Sorry, I've stolen your thunder there, Mpundulo, but pushed across and takes the outside edge of Visa's bat, and he is going to have to return to the dugout on his first ball. Visa out for naught.
Seems like it is Jafrans who knows more of Visa, giving him a juicy one that he can go to the back foot on and try to smash through the covers. Rather, he gets the edge. A catch from Green, the keeper, and it brings on yet another green shirt for the JSK. Not what they would have wanted. David Visa, known for his power hitting with those long levers, but unfortunately he has to use them to walk it back into the dugout. It brings in Dayan Khalim, one of the new signings for JSK in this season, as they are halfway down from their batting lineup. It's 109 with 8 overs remaining.
Dayan Khalim, born down in Cape Town, educated at Rondebosch Boys, but has fairly recently moved himself up to Titans, and an experienced member of this JSK outfit. He's played 45 first-class games, 34 T20s, and a highest score of 74 at T20.
Both these players now, they haven't scored a run. New bowler who gets it straight and easily defended to start off for Donovan Ferreira.
I think this is Jan Freilink bowling again from the centre. Is it? No, it's not. We'll be able to see. We'll tell you in a moment.
Sean Faucher. He's the new man.
Sean Faucher, of course, right arm over. First right-hander we've seen bowl from the centre today.
No, bowling wicket to wicket. It's what you'd expect with medium pace. That's what will make the batter's eyes light up and look to go big, as we've seen most of the wickets falling in that manner.
Yeah, this is suddenly, I think, putting a bit of a cat among the pigeons for JSK. From being quite confident about a score of 180 plus, that's suddenly looking quite a long way away at 110 for 5.
And this is very good bowling from Faucher. Very good stuff. He hasn't given them anything to work with. But in retaliation, this is exactly what you want from a new partnership where both batters are still starting to get their straps into the game. Just want them to pick the spots, pick the poles, and ask for those ones. Try to steal the twos. Eventually, the bowlers will start searching and you'll get those boundaries.
Sean Fisher never actually having played a T20 international for Namibia at this stage yet.
You'd never say with the way that he is bowling. Really doesn't mind these singles. Actually getting cheers from the Namibian crowd and the Namibian fielders as well.
I say that's clearly not true. Cricinfo selling me a dummy there. He's played in this most recent triangular. So he's played against Uganda and Karnataka. It actually wasn't given as a full T20 international, that.
But that will be given as a full shot, a full ball, a bit wide. Donovan Ferreira showing that you don't want to mess with me a little bit too much, but it's straight to the man standing at deep cover.
So 114 for 5 now with the one ball remaining in the 13th over. Fouché bowling from the golf course end, coming right arm over past umpire Gump.
Into the block hole. A very good over this from Sean Fisher. He will be very happy with how it has come about and how they were working him around. Nothing too big. A single each one as 6 runs are taken. It's 115 for the loss of 5 with 7 overs remaining.
Yeah, I think quite evenly balanced at this stage. Maybe not that even. I think if you had offered 115 for 5 after 13 to Namibia this morning, they would have absolutely taken it. Not sure if JSK would have taken it.
Losing 5 wickets is not a nice thing, and considering the value of those wickets as well in Riza Hendricks, who showed his value scoring those 42, Du Plessis, Herman, Deploy, Visa, they are also the culprits who've lost their wickets, or rather the victims. Piquet France, he wants to get more. Having already gotten 2, and with JSK wanting to get to a zone where they can start accelerating, these ones are coming in nicely.
The batters that come after this, Lizard Williams, who I think would consider himself a bowling all-rounder, just about. Aram Pangiso, the spinner, it's sort of solid lower order batsman, but then Imran Tahir and Cook. Not often that you see at Wanderers number 11 Cook, this ground famous for opening batsmen with that surname.
Stephen Cook, the man with the highest first-class score in South African cricket of 390. Far cry from what we're watching here, because this is now the fastest, or one of the fastest versions of the game. JSK, who in the semi-finals last season, they are proper exponents of that, and the fielder, proper exponent of how it should be done. Freylink at short extra cover.
And of course, the very first game I ever watched at Wanderers Stadium when I was 6 years old would have had Jimmy Cook opening the batting. The father of Stephen Cook, and I've also watched Alistair Cook open the batting here.
Hit straight back, and seems like a catch? No, seems like it's a bump ball.
It was a bump ball, yeah. The reaction of the batter was unhappy, but I think it was more that he had managed to pick out the fielder rather than worrying that he had lost his wicket.
Easily pocketed into the space. It's right in between the man standing at long on and deep mid wicket, and it's an exquisitely timed couple.
They're now through to 119 for 5. Khalim is on 7. Donovan Ferreira on 3.
They just want to keep on eking out more and more of these, because eventually they will start getting those boundaries. They will start hitting the areas. They're putting the field under pressure, and they're asking the question, asking if Ferreira has made it home, and indeed he has. That is an eventful end to over number 14. 121 is on the board as we only have 36 deliveries remaining.
Superb bowling by Frans, just hurrying the batters, not enabling them to get under him and loft the ball away. Very, very good T20 bowling by the spinner.
Showed by his results as well, getting 18 runs from his 2 overs. Yes, you'll say, why is it so expensive? Because he's striking. He has 2 wickets in those 2 overs for the price of those 18 runs.
Yeah, most of those runs were hit by loose deploy, lofting him away over that short boundary. But Picky of France won that battle and then was able to pick up Visa as well.
So now Freyling comes to the attack. He also has a wicket under his name. Can he get yet another one? Ooh, starting it very gingerly. Again, cross-bat shots, not the batter's friend from the golf course end.
I think he probably rolled his fingers over that one. You saw it went on the bounce through to the keeper and completely flummoxed Donovan Ferreira, who I think could have played that shot 2 or 3 times before the ball arrived to him.
Some creativity required now to restrict the scoring. What they've done well here is put them into a little bit of a box of just scoring ones, because they'll know that eventually they'll want to chase those balls to get those boundaries.
Yeah, more conventional ball that time. But just a sense that Namibia is being able to put some pressure onto JSK here. And it'll be interesting to see who's going to win this little micro battle.
Smashing it straight on. What a good shot, but there is fielding. Sean Fouchers is very good on the boundary, very good on the ground, and very good with his arm as well. Look at that, throwing it back into the stumps.
Always slightly irritating as an umpire when you have to fix the stumps for no apparent reason.
It's practice.
Mazizi Gampu does it with a smile on his face, as he does with everything in his life.
Looks to go big, and go big he does. He gets rewarded with the full price for his shot over the long-on fielder, and that is 6 runs for Donovan Ferreira.
Lofted easily away there. It's landed a good 10 rows back with a clunk into the empty stands and a bit of a chunk out of the white ball there. The fielder now just retrieving it out of the stands. That takes Ferreira on to 10, matching Khalim on 10 as well. 129 for 5. That takes the partnership to 20.
Not really getting under that ball, but such is the power of Donovan Ferreira, playing for the Titans in Centurion, so he knows the high fault. He really knows the high fault. He takes that ball on to the opposite side of the V, into the 3rd tier of the centenary stand here to DP World Wanderers. What a blast from Donovan Ferreira.
I'm telling you, that hit the advertising hoardings at the same level that you and I are at in Bandula. And we could have done one of the one-handed catches for $1 million. Would they have given it to us, I wonder?
I believe so. It would have taken some magic to stop that, because it had fire and smoke on its trail to the stand.
Apparently it's $2 million this season. I'll share it with you if we take the catch.
Oh, so kind, and it's been dropped at leg slip. Talk about kindness. It is Namibia who are giving away runs and now giving away wickets.
Yeah, the man at 45, he should have taken that. I think it didn't go quickly to him. Just flicked off the pad slowly and sort of in the air, and I think probably went too slowly to the fielder. He had too much time to think about it. It died on him a bit. He had to dive forward and never really got close to taking it. A bit of a life there for Khalim. And or was that Ferreira? It was Ferreira, I think, who faced that ball. So he's still there on 17. JSK 136 for 5 after 15. So they're still on track for that 180 if they score at 10 runs and over from here. And as long as these guys stay in, I think they're probably on track for it.
And they should. That is what the discussion is. He is Khalim, one of the last players you'd firmly trust with the bat in this lineup. And Donovan Ferreira nearly gifting it and giving it away. How lucky he was. Ben Chikongo has already taken a catch in the game, and for him to drop that one, which looked fairly regulatory, it's gonna hurt, especially since he has 2 overs to bowl. It's gonna be even worse if he's gonna get the punishment through the bat of Donovan Ferreira.
So this is Gerrit Erasmus, I think, to resume. Oh no, so my apologies. It's Arno Duplessis, Duplessis Arno, who will be commencing from the call it drive end.
Coming around the wickets, Donovan Ferreira will definitely feel like he missed out on that one.
Absolute dross of a ball, but worked quite well, I think. Occasionally, if you can angle the full toss correctly, it can be quite difficult to get away.
Especially now that he's giving them a new angle here, Arnold Duplessis. He's coming around the wicket as the left-hander, targeting the stumps. Dayan Khalim, he now faces. And it's rocketed onto the padding. Good stuff. Good way to begin.
Yeah, Arno Duplessis is bowling well here. He's not giving the batters any space whatsoever, just cramping them up. And but it is a tricky game. If he gets this slightly wrong, he's going to travel. But it is a long boundary out to cow corner from this end, so he might feel that he's quite safe.
Might be dangerous as well with a cow corner fielder on the boundary. But right now, you no need cow corner. If the ball trickles down the leg side from that distance, he takes a feather, does Donovan Ferreira. And it seems like the cricket gods really are smiling down upon him.
Yeah, so it's a difficult situation that Arno Duplessis is in here, because he doesn't want to give any space outside the off stump at all because of this very short boundary on that offside. So he's trying to push it in onto leg stump, this time just drifting slightly too far to leg, and it was relatively easy to just tickle that down to a fine leg.
It's even worse given the fact that Lungameni at the 45 is short on the ring. And that's that width that you're talking about there, Simon. Needing to be very careful, considering the fact how powerful Ferreira is through that area.
Managed to pick out the cover fielder exactly. If that had been 2 meters to either side, I think he would have got his 4. But well placed, that cover fielder, and no run.
So easily it could have gone over the top as well. So trying to keep it straight here, counterintuitively, might be the plan. Because if you don't go straight, Donovan Ferreira will go at you with all that he has. Even his edge is dangerous. It runs down to the third man boundary for 4.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I would do as a captain here, because he's got his 3 men on the boundary out to the leg side. And then 1 man at a deep mid-off, 1 man at a conventional sweeper. So, yeah, I mean, I suppose you can't really captain for edges.
He's tried his best. There's a man, 2 men standing at fly slip, basically. They did their best, and this is a sharp single, taking on the man standing at cover.
Yeah, play that with soft hands out to the offside, so they were able to come through for the single. Good thinking crickets there by Donovan Ferreira. He goes through to 27. Khalima hasn't faced a ball for quite a while, I think. He's still on 10. And the score now 147 for 5. The rate achieved still lingering around that 9 runs and over, so still on track for something in the 180s. And I think if these two can get us another 20 runs in the next 2 overs, then that might open up a score closer to the 200 mark.
It's also going to take a lot of weight away from the likes of Aaron Pangi. So Imran Tahir, Cook and Lizard Williams, Dayan Khalim and David Visa, who will be your bowlers coming in for JSK against the Namibians. So here, the task is still very much within this middle order. Donovan Ferreira is currently on strike. He'll be facing Lange Lungameni.
Lungameni just wandering across, having a word with his mid-off. Not quite sure what it is they're discussing. I think there's various people pointing around, trying to figure out the angles on this field, which is very, very lopsided. And so he will be wanting to give the batter lots of space outside the off stump here and not giving him a chance to loft him over cow at all.
It's going to become a little bit easier as well, considering the fact that he's going across the right-hander. But it's in the arc of Donovan Ferreira. We've seen a blast of a six. And there it is again. Donovan Ferreira, what are you doing at the DP World Wanderers? We know that the sun is not here, and he is lighting it up for us. Right over the top. What a way to bring up 150 for JSK.
Yeah, I mean, he knew exactly what Lungameni was going to try and do there. And, he was ready for the ball angling across outside the off stump and just set himself up and slapped it away over mid-off for six.
Again, the Wanderers is seeing all the beauties of T20 cricket. Ferreira is on fire. He goes to the other side of the V for yet another maximum.
And that was another one at our level. So if he gets one straight back over the umpire's head, I'm telling you, we're going to be in the money here, Mbandula.
That 2 million might be coming closer and closer towards us here, Simon. I don't know. Don't they have like 200,000 for warm-up games?
Yeah, we're going to have to get our man Mpumi, our cameraman, to make sure that he tracks that ball properly so he can see the single-handed catch that Mbandula and I are going to be taking.
He might be tempted to go for it himself indeed, yes, Simon.
Mpumi, we will buy you a Coke with the proceeds, sir.
Donovan Ferreira has upped the spirits of everyone here at the Wanderers Stadium. He continues, this time much more flatter in between the man at deep mid-wicket and long on. He is not stopping, and the score moves on to 163.
After 2 days of watching overs which have gone W.W.W. Not only in Newlands but across at Sydney as well. It happened a couple of times. It's so nice to now see a 664.
We can just read the name of those overs. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It even counts here. Lungameni changes angle around the wicket. It still doesn't matter because Donovan Ferreira is some way or the other just finding the gaps, but this time it's the longer boundary, way longer boundary, and it has to be retrieved out in the deep.
Yeah, that was desperate bowling there by Lungameni. He really needed to try and get as much space out to the offside as possible, and he executed it well. I think actually if Ferreira had left that alone, he might have been able to get a wide out of umpire Gampu.
Full confidence from Donovan Ferreira. Really full confidence. He moves on to 46 with that single, just picking up the man in the deep, but he won't mind because he might be coming back in the following over.
Yeah, really hit that hard, but Sean Fisher down here at mid-off, fielding well. And in all of this excitement, Ghalim still hasn't faced a ball in 3 overs, 4 overs. He's going to get one now.
His partnership has already eclipsed 50, currently on 57. In all of the excitement, you kind of get lost in all of the little milestone because it feels like it's a milestone per ball here for JSK.
Both of these batters were on naught when this partnership started. So 46 of those runs to Ferreira, just 10 to Dayan Khalim.
Dayan Khalim doing his bit for JSK as well here, Simon, ensuring that he doesn't lose his wickets. Halfway through the order, you don't want any more casualties. Just allow the freedom for Ferreira to play his cricket. But it's also Khalim who's also in the money. That is not the delivery you want to be bowling with the short boundary on the pads. Khalim dispatches that with flexible wrists, and it's 172 to end over number 17.
Yeah, for a man who hasn't faced a ball for 3 or 4 overs, he saw that one nicely, just flicking it off his toes, and it flew away to a 10-year-old on the grass embankment who took it well, one hand, one bounce. And threw it back left-handed with a decent arm there.
What would a 10-year-old do with $2 million?
If he was my 10-year-old, he would give it to his parents.
The grass embankments would be filled once the SA20 starts here at the iconic DP World Wanderers. Of course, last season hosts magnificent games. Faf du Plessis scoring 113 in one of them, which was the highlight of the tournament, the highest score of the tournament. Donovan Ferreira's warming up. He is a dangerous player, breaking through in that SA20. And here, he's on his way to 50, currently on 46.
Ben Chikongo now to continue the attack.
Ooh, nearly on it. The off stump was calling the ball's name, but Donovan Ferreira survives.
Yeah, good ball in the channel there by Chikongo, just back of a length, forcing the miss shot by Ferreira. But you can see that he's eyeing that grass embankment out to the right-hand side of your screen.
Still hitting the hard lenses, Ben Chikongo. Faf du Plessis kind of took a liking to him. He's yet to get a wicket, Ben Chikongo. Donovan Ferreira, how much pricey would that be? Because if he does not get it, he is going to be taken away into the stands, and Donovan Ferreira reaches his 50. He's on 52 with that straight drive over for 6.
And these have been phenomenal hits. You know, I've watched a lot of white ball cricket at this stadium. It is rare to see guys hitting it. I mean, that one was, what, 20, 25 rows back? You would have felt pretty safe that you weren't going to be having to worry about taking one-handed catches if you were back there. And yet hitting them with ease into the back of the expensive seats at Wanderers Stadium.
Ben Chikongo, not where you want to be. That is on the arc of a man who is on it. 52 runs, just smashing the ball all around the ground. You're getting to see even the crony little spaces under those black sheets as they cannot find the ball, the Namibians.
Yeah, Lofty Eaton's been good about finding the ball all this afternoon. He's taken 2 really, really good catches, but he's lost this one, I'm afraid. And, yeah, I think this has gone deep inside. This is not going to be a way we're going to find a cricket ball, guys. So I think they're going to have to call for another ball here.
Even if I was the ball here, Simon, I would want to run away and take a break just for a little bit. Donovan Ferreira is having all the fun with it. It's flying all around here in the sky of the Highfield in the Wanderers Stadium.
So I think the umpires are on the radio there and having a look up towards the umpire's box. And I'm sure that we will see third umpire, Randy Nkomo, appear quite shortly with the box of balls. Although they seem on a training budget. Oh, they've managed to find it. Fantastic. So they have found the ball. We will continue with the old ball.
Celebrations. That is what we want. The ball is in the hands of Ben Chikongo. Just getting a little bit of a breather, is everyone. Dion Khalim is also taking a liking to hitting the ball. Donovan Ferreira is taking a liking to hitting the ball. Therefore, the ball needs to be assessed by umpire Gampu to ensure that we are still in it. We are still within the cricket.
Yeah, so they're happy enough with it, even though this ball, I'm sure, is looking a bit bruised and battered at the moment. But Ben Chikongo to continue.
Ooh, good work. Very good work. That's what you want to see at the back end of the innings. Little bit more variations, keeping the batters on their toes.
Yeah, given 1 for the over as a bouncer, but it went on the bounce through to the keeper. So not certainly not a snorter. Almost a slow ball bouncer. I think they might just have been not really able to extract too much bounce out of this Wanderers pitch.
Definitely. Taking a pace away from that ball is so pivotal given the fact that Donovan Ferreira is nailing it. Because when you give him pace, it does not matter if you're hitting it to the long side of the boundary. It will fly over the roofs and into the parking lot. 6 runs for Donovan Ferreira.
That was an enormous 6 over a very, very long boundary. And he hit it over the roof of a newsstand, actually, in that part of the world, next to the yoga center at DP Wanderers Stadium. And I think there's going to be a bit of a pause here while they root around in the parking lot to see whether they can get that. In fact, Katso and Tuli indicating that he thinks it's gone over the fence and they're going to call for a new ball.
Well, if it wasn't telling us 2 balls ago that the ball doesn't want to be used anymore, this is confirmation. Donovan Ferreira saying, get the rubbish out of here. Bring the other rubbish. I'll also throw it into the trash by dispatching it away. This is Donovan Ferreira at his absolute finest. 58 runs he's on. Ben Shikongo just gave him one that set up so deliciously, and the only thing he could do was feast.
Okay, so what they've done is broken with protocol here. Normally they would have called for a new ball. What they're doing now is they're actually going to be using the alternative ball that was being used on the golf course end.
Just getting time to move as well with the game. They're coming back for number 2. Seems like there's cloud cover as well here, coming in nastily over the Wanderers Stadium.
Yeah, a bit of a rumble of thunder out to our left as well, out towards Alex, if you know Joburg well, to the north of the stadium, but definitely a rather ominous looking sky.
But what is also ominous is for the Namibians, Shikongo has given away 32 runs in the 16 deliveries he's bowled so far. Now trickles of rain are starting to come by as he takes his mark.
We are barely under cover where we're sitting.
Also taking cover is the ball finally, not going out into the stands. Donovan Ferreira not getting a pure connection onto it.
So that flurry of sixes has brought us up to 188 for 5 now, with still 13 balls remaining, and now 200 definitely looking a possibility in Pandula.
Given the nature of T20 cricket, it takes one person's performance to change the whole outlook of the team.
And what a person Donovan Ferreira has proven to be.
And even Dayan Khalim is showing out his French cuts. Bonjour, he says to the game, and it runs down for a single.
Vatican slice, we call that these days in the digital commentary world. I think someone told us that French cut was mildly offensive to the French. Not that I think we have too many French folk watching.
Not at all. But I must admit that the food of cricket that is being dished out by Dayan Khalim will rival the French's finest cuisine. Donovan Ferreira is the man who is feasting the most, currently on 59 runs. There are 12 balls remaining in this innings, and certainly, Simon, if he remains out there, that 200 will just be another tick in the box.
I agree with you that Donovan Ferreira's entertainment is filling. I don't know if it has the subtlety of a coq au vin, though. Eh?
A cocker for what?
Coq au vin. Take your mind out of the gut in Pendulo. It means chicken with wine.
Oh, the cocker. I'm like, okay, I hear it. But here it's the Lions who are feasting. JSK represented by the Lions. Lions king of the jungle. Into the block hole. Very good fielding from Ben Shukongo. He'll go back and think, oh, if only that's what I did for the catch.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's probably still smarting slightly from that. Was it Donovan Ferreira that he dropped there? It was indeed. So that turned out to be a very, very expensive, probably a match-costing catch that was spilt 4 or 5 overs ago in that exact position.
Definitely, because it's a huge task for the Namibian batters with the bowling lineup presented here by JSK. Arnaud du Plessis drops it into the slot of Donovan Ferreira. He doesn't even bother looking at how far the ball went. Nearly going into the change room of the JSK. It's 6 more runs for the Don.
I don't think I've ever seen a batter hit the ball into the change room at the Wanderers, and that was only 2 or 3 meters short there.
He wants the dugouts and the people in the change room to also come out and play a part of this game. Arnaud du Plessis, he will want to be a little bit more creative in how he closes off his spell.
Yeah, this is going to be problematic for Namibia now that Donovan Ferreira has definitely lined them up. And with still 10 balls remaining in this innings, 215, 220 is looking on the cards.
That is much more better from Arnaud Duplessis, but it's well played from Ferreira. Thinking of number 2, very good throw from the deep. Wonderful throw from Van Lingen.
88, the partnership now. 2 fat ladies, 88. Ferreira has scored 66 of those. Khalim just 18.
Now that 200 is just around the corner, 3 runs away. And it's very well done from Duplessis, just rolling his fingers over the ball, taking the pace away, and especially against Dayan Khalim, who hasn't found his straps fully, given the fact that it's just been the Ferreira show.
Well, I mean, it's not even like he's been facing that much. You know, he's really been watching from the non-striker's end. Best seat in the house, but he's managed to get his eye out in that time.
Just showing this is very good work. The Namibians cheering from all around the field. And the thing is here, if you do drift to his pads, we saw with the delivery from Shikongo that, yay, don't you dare try that because you're going to go away. And so he's done. So here the strategy of bowling it to the side, forcing him to hit it onto the long boundary, taking the pace away, making it so hard.
Absolutely perfect death bowling there by Arnaud Duplessis.
And he gives him the one. After bowling all so well, he says, no, I'm still going to be the gift of the givers. With the last ball of such a good over, he gives Khalim one to dispatch. And it's 200 up now for the Joburg Super Kings.
Yeah, and Dayan Khalim has got to be a little bit careful there because that's where the umpires park their cars at Wanderers Stadium. Usually quite safely snuck in behind the stands there, but I think if that deflected off one of the walls, it could have pinged a bit of a dent out of Katsuo Ntuli's Toyota.
And that's when, even when the ball hits the chest and the fielder's appeal, you'll be like, hey, you hit my car. Sticks the finger.
6 and out is still a thing, eh?
It ends the over, though, the penultimate over, and the ball from that last over was such a costly one for Namibia, and it's cost us possibly another ball, but finally it makes its way back into the field. One more over remains.
203 for 5, the score now. The partnership 94. And Dayan Khalim now beginning to contribute a little bit to this partnership, but it's certainly been the Donovan Ferreira show for most of it, as we get these ominous rumbles of thunder coming from the north. It is going to be, is this going to be Piquet France to bowl again, I think? Is it? No, it's Lungameni. Sorry, I thought he was lining himself up to be a spinner. Which would have been a bold move, but no, it is going to be Lungameni, who has travelled a bit. He's 1 for 45 off his 3.
15 runs to the over. Maybe trying to switch it up with a little bit of spin. Maybe you were envisioning it for him. Alas, it's not the case. He's going to be running down with the slope this time. We're going to see if maybe that's going to help him out. The wickets have been coming from the golf course end, but it didn't do him much favor against Ferreira. And starting it off well into the block hole. They're running hard, trying to see if they're going to get 2 runs. And he's going to give it away. He's going to give it away. A bad call. Khalim decides that he's not going to take the risk. And Donovan Ferreira just easing his partner down, saying it's okay. Sacrifices himself.
And I must tell you, that was naughty of Ferreira because he gave up. And have made no attempt to get back. But Tangeni Lungameni spilled that ball. And I think that if Ferreira had wheeled around and really gone hard back towards the non-striker's end, he might have at least forced Katsuo Ntuli to make a decision.
100%. And sometimes, Simon, it's that added little bit of pressure from you wanting to get back and you wanting that extra run that makes the fielders make a little bit more of mistakes, a little bit of fumbles. However, it's not the case, and Donovan Ferreira gave us a wonderful show. He's gone for 67, and it brings on the new batter in Lazard Williams.
Lazard Williams, who has played a lot for the Proteas in this latter part of his career, has been a fixture of their T20 squad.
But currently on strike is Dayan Khalim. gives it a nice little knock. Aaron Pangiso is the new man in.
Aaron Pangiso, who has whirled away as a spinner at DP World Wanderers for many, many years. He's very much a fixture here. So he knows the stadium well.
He's the representation of age is nothing but a number. He's going to be turning 41 years old here, Aaron Pangiso. So it's not just the experience, it's also all of the skill that have accumulated over that time. It's going to be such a threat with the ball. And with just 5 balls remaining, he faces. And he faces well over the top, nearing into the tunnels. What a blast of a shot.
Yeah, just waiting on the back foot and firing it out over the offside, and an easy 6 onto that grass embankment. If he's 41, that probably means he's actually 39. Yeah, it probably means he made his pro debut before Ronan Herman was born. I'll check that now quickly for you.
Turning 40 years old, and even our producer here, Wayne, is agreeing that is the case. He's showing his experience, looking to showcase his skill against Lungamene. I mean, he just has 5 balls remaining, might as well show off.
Yeah, so his first class debut was in 2004, and so I think Ronan Herman was born in 2003.
Just missing out.
Herman was still in nappies when this man was playing first class cricket.
And he still shows that he has it in with that wonderful boundary. Taking the pace away, beautifully bowled from Lungamene. Loud and clear call from Khalim this time. Preserving the wicket of Pangiso with just a single delivery remaining.
212 for 6. Pangiso's on 7. Khalim is on 25. It's been very much the Donovan Ferreira show. He's fell earlier this innings for 67. There's a flash of lightning happens out to the northeast of the stadium.
We yet to hear the sirens from the golf course, which will normally indicate that it's time for the players to vacate the field. But it's just one more ball remaining against Dayan Khalim. Swings hard, but swinging and missing, and it finally brings the end to the innings for the Joburg Super Kings. After electing to bat first, they've put on a massive total of 212 for the loss of 6, and that is thanks to Donovan Ferreira's 67. But it started well at the top with Hendricks' 42 and Duplessis' 26. Everyone scoring double figures except for Visa, who lost his wicket for a duck. 212 on the board, but also the bowling also tried its best there, Simon.
You know, they did well early on, and then really began to get some sticks. So Arnaud Duplessis, he was expensive, 4 overs for 44. Ben Chikongo, no wicket, 3 for 34. Lungamene took an early wicket, but 4 for 54. Erasmus just the 1 over for 3 runs. Don't know why he didn't bowl a bit more. Jan Freilink, he bowled 2 overs, 1 for 23. Lofty Eaton took 2 catches but didn't take any wickets off his bowling, 2 for 22. Smith just the 1 over, 1 for 6. And Piquier France, 2 overs, 2 for 18, including that first bowler to Visa.
8 different types of bowlers used for Namibia. It is a warm-up game, trying to get all the players warmed up. But with that, Donovan Ferreira took the show, showing that he is indeed the Don. It's 213 to win for Namibia, and after the innings break, we will be back with the second innings of the match to see if they can bring it down. This is Pitch Vision. This is the Cricket South Africa, or rather the Joburg Super King YouTube page, and also the Super Sports YouTube page, bringing you live action of this warm-up fixture between JSK and Namibia. Welcome back at the Wanderers Stadium. Joburg Super Kings have set 213 runs for the Namibians to chase down and win. And this is the first warm-up fixture for JSK, who were the semi-finalists last season, being taken out by the eventual champions, the Sunrisers Eastern Cape. So here they will be bowling to Jean Duplessis. He'll be starting off with Kutza and the South African bowler Lizard Williams, who is now a fiery paceman, clocking 140 at ease.
Yeah, he's certainly come into his own a little bit in the last couple of years. He's past his 30th birthday, so certainly an experienced cricketer. He's played a couple of tests and 11 T20 internationals. Those T20 internationals averaging 23, quite expensive though, nearly 9.5 or more than 9.5 runs and over. So he's he's in an interesting place in his career at the moment, but certainly a bit of a fixture in the Proteas white ball setup.
Coach Walters really backs him and backs his game, does Lizard Williams. So he'll want to showcase that he's worthy of being selected now into his 30s. And what would be a prime in this day and age? He bowls to Jean Duplessis. Starting off with fire.
Bowling himself off his feet there, limping a little bit. I think he landed on his knee there, which is not a great way to start your SA20 season, injuring yourself in the very first ball that you bowled in a warm-up game.
Certainly, indeed, with it being a warm-up game. But it's going to be a fiery start. It's what they're happy about here, the JSK. Seeing your fast bowler go all out right at the beginning. Wake-up call for Jean Duplessis.
Works it into the offside, and no run, just fired back to Ronan Herman, who is wearing the gloves today. The youngster, who we worked out was 1 year old when Aaron Pangiso made his debut. Hadn't been born when Imran Tahir started playing professional cricket.
The two players he really doesn't want to drop.
I think you might have been in nappies when Imran Tahir started playing cricket, eh?
No, I think I was a walking kid. I was a walking kid. And it just shows the experience that the JSK have backed with in this team of theirs. Their two spinners are literally veterans of the game. Imran Tahir was in the 1999 Under-19 World Cup, and Aaron Pangiso, he started playing back in 2004. So both these players with well over 20 years of experience, and what an addition to have in this JSK setup.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it's one of the nice things about franchise crickets, like this, is that you do get to play with guys who really are experienced and have been around the block.
And also, it just shows the intention of JSK. They are not here to play. They are banking all of their eggs here and wanting to bring this championship home.
Absolutely. This was a huge success in its first season. And so the second iteration is, I wouldn't say make or break, but is certainly a chance for this competition to really hit its stride.
And Lizard Williams looking to hit his stride, just forcing it in. Remember, he's such a pacey bowler, but it runs down the hips for a wide.
I think it would have been worth Ronan Herman to at least have appealed there to try and put a little bit of doubt in Katso Ntuli's mind. Come on, Herman.
And it's funny because it's those little chatters, and we know that you're joking, and the team just starts to laugh. It's like a little icebreaker. And just wrapping the pads of Kutza, but not much of an appeal.
This has been a very, very good over by Lizard Williams. He's bowled with pace. He's bowled at the right length for this for this pitch, and just tucking the batsman up a lot, which is why he strayed down the leg that time. But really, really showing his experience.
Just seeing the replay of Aaron Pangiso's mighty six. As we were speaking about the experience, also showing up with the ball, Lizard Williams has his own, and he decides to use his experience to hit that at the back of a length, pushing it wide, looking to see if Kutzer will be drawn into a drive on the up, which he was. But it's good fielding. It ends the over. A very good one, as you've alluded to, Simon. Just 1 run or 2 runs from it.
Yeah, absolutely. JP Kutzer, another of the Etosha Wildcats players. This is already, I've decided, if I'm going to be a Namibian fan, Etosha Wildcats is the team I'm going to support. Have you been up to northern Namibia there, to Etosha, Pan?
I don't own even a passport.
It's really, really worth it. You know, if you ever want to see dusty elephants, basically, that's the deal.
Sam Cook, the Englishman who's come down to the south, maybe that's an experience he might want to have and go right about when he goes back up to Europe. But it's going to taste so much more better if he brings back some wickets with it. He now bowls to Jean du Plessis, starting off with that pace, just a little bit wide. Lazy feet there, you might say, from du Plessis.
Yeah, indeed. He didn't really get himself into a good position there, just flapped at the ball as it went past. Sam Cook, another very experienced professional cricketer who's played a lot of county cricket.
26 years old.
And 74 first-class matches under his belt already.
It's a lot of cricket and is showing that experience. What a stick! What a catch! Just pops up his left hand. He gets a second grab onto it and he did not put it onto the ground. And it is the dismissal of Jean du Plessis with a mighty catch.
Superb take this, with du Plessis advancing down the pitch, and Sam Cook just sticks up that big left hand enough to stop the ball, and then just takes the easy pad down into his waiting hands. Very, very good seamer's return catch that.
Oh, it just made it look so cool. The first grab setting up, the second grab. It's very difficult as you're going on that follow through. A paceman like Sam Cook, just throwing your hands, and sometimes, Simon, those are the ones that just stick, and fortune is on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked so confident there, and you know, it shows. It's worth throwing your hand up there. I often see bowlers just let it go past their ears because they're scared of it, but you know, you don't have to take it first time.
All the opportunities count. And when they do get taken, they bring in a new batter who walks in at number 3 here for Namibia. It's going to be Rasmus facing on to Sam Cook. And Cookie is hitting his straps very nicely.
One slip in place for Sam Cook. With the lightning getting closer and closer, I'm pretty sure that the umpires are going to be watching that with interest. We do have a golf course behind us, and we normally go by the siren on the golf course. To be honest, I wouldn't be playing golf in this weather.
And clearly the JSK want to go home quickly by taking these wickets. Sam Cook hitting a very hard length, and the ball seems to be heavy on the way to the batter.
Yeah, he bowls a heavy ball, does Sam Cook. Not a particularly tall bowler. But he muscles his way through the crease and hurries the batter a bit. I imagine probably is a handful on the seaming wickets of the county circuit.
And now is going to be using that extra bounce of the Wanderers Stadium, running up the slope. But is coming down the track is rather the batter. Rasmus almost getting a 4, but his countryman David Visa stopping it at the long on boundary.
Yeah, Gerrit Rasmus, very experienced batter. He's played 52 T20 internationals. He's scored 100 in the T20 format, which is rare. Average of 32, very, very good average, and an average of 45 in ODIs. So this is one of the of Namibia's key men.
And it's the fact that he scores that average at over 120 with the strike rate. So averaging 32, strike rate of 120. That's a good return.
Yeah, no, that's proper. He's a decent batter.
Yes, Kutzer though. Ooh, just fending at one outside the off stump. Another lazy shot. Such a good ball from Cookie. asking the bats to come out, which ends over number 2 at 5-1.
Yeah, that was enough for them to abandon the slip there, which is interesting. I thought it would have been worth at 5-1 after 2 overs to keep a slip in place. But T20 captains are conservative men.
Especially given the fact that right now it's still the power play. But also, you have the upper hand as the JSK. Wouldn't you want to just apply more pressure? You have scoreboard pressure against the Namibians who'll be looking to go on the attack constantly. You just want to add that doubt on them.
So there is still the slip in place for the right-handed Gerrit Erasmus. Let's see if we can see who that slip is. I think it's Riese Hendricks. Yeah, Riese Hendricks at slip. Ronan Herman with the gloves on, with his shirt hanging out. I'm sure his schoolboy coach will have words with him about that.
Beautiful delivery that from Lizard Williams, hitting a traditional back of a length area. And it sounds like you're also quite a fan of being the tradition, following the tradition here, Simon.
I think they should still be wearing whites in Pendulo. There is a man at a short third man as well. I'll have a look for you to see who that is. He's basically at a deep gully, essentially. I think that might be Donovan Ferreira.
Bucket hands Donovan Ferreira, but he's not needed at gully. A deft touch. A beautiful shot from Erasmus, guiding that down around to the deep fine leg boundary for a well-crafted 4.
Yeah, this was clever batting. So Lizard Williams has not been giving any space on that offside at all because of that short boundary. Really tacking these batters in, and with his additional pace, it's been difficult to score off. And so pre-worked move that by Erasmus, just stepping across as the bowler was in his delivery stride and flicking it down to the vacant fine leg boundary. Easy 4 runs.
It's a brave shot as well. Lizard Williams, as you can see with that one, is not the slowest of bowlers. So you're really going to have to hit your straps if you're going to be trying to be adventurous like that. And Namibia get to double digits.
Yeah, this is really good bowling by Lizard Williams, showing his class here. Just that extra yard of pace that the Namibians didn't have, and hurrying these batters on. And keeping it very tight indeed. No space whatsoever outside the off stump.
Very close, that flash of lightning, looking purple even.
Left-handed JP Kotzer facing.
Slight appeal from Lizard Williams. Not much, but the players, they even a little bit concerned. Does purple lightning indicate anything, Simon?
It was still quite a way away, but I think that's enough that Katso has decided that he values his life, and so is going to take the fielders off. Yeah, you don't want to get anyone struck by lightning on a practice match. You don't want to get anyone struck by lightning at all, Pendulo. But they are now wandering off, and the storm has been getting closer and closer. So I suspect we're going to lose a good while here, and no lights today, obviously because of the practice match aspect of this. So I worry that might actually be us for the afternoon. But let's see how we go. Let's just give you a quick summary. Oh well, that's disappeared. But they were 10 for 1, I think, after in the third over, chasing a large 210 for JSK. And so certainly a good start by JSK. Namibia up against it, and we'll be back in a while, hopefully, as the covers come on.